Okay, so this is the review for test 2.2, and this first question says the function c of x equals 0.36x plus 40 represents the cost in dollars of a one-day truck rental when the truck is driven x miles. First question is, what is the truck rental cost when you drive 130 miles? Okay, so it says x miles, which means that x is 130. So if we have 0.36x, we can replace x with 130, and then we can just do that arithmetic. So we multiply 0.36 times 130 and add 40. And I get $86.80. Okay. Part B, how many miles did you drive when your cost is $56.92? Okay, so using this, C of x is the cost, so we'd say $56.92 is equal to 0.36x plus 40. Then we would solve for x. We would subtract the 40 from each side of the equal sign, and we'd have 1692 equals 0.36x. We would then divide both sides by 0.36. And we get 47. So that x would be 47, or how many miles did you drive? You drove 47 miles. Now there is another way to do this. You can use your calculator and put the function here in the graphing portion, and then you could trace along the graph looking for x to be 130 and y to be 56.92. It's a little bit trickier, but you could definitely do it that way. I'm going to see if my calculator will show up here on the screen for you. I think it'll be okay. So if you go into graphing, you would type 0.36x plus 40. You'd hit enter. Okay, and then nothing happened. So you would press menu 4 for Windows Zoom. And then you would select A, which is your zoom fit. And then the window is now visible. Okay, so to trace along this line and find out points, you would say menu 5 1. Now the downside is you're starting here right now at 0, and you would have to trace all the way till x is 130. So to avoid that, you can actually set your trace by placing menu 5 3. And instead of letting the computer or calculator decide, you could change that to say 10, and then you'll count by tens. And as you're jumping now, you're jumping by tens instead of by ones. And there you can see 130 is 86.80, which is what we said it would be. Okay, and then the trickier part is finding the 47s. Since we started counting by tens, 47 wouldn't show up, so you might want to, you could get close to 47, say 50, except you wouldn't know it was 47 because you didn't do the solving. So what you're looking for here is you want to get close to 56.92, and I'm at 58, 54, so somewhere between 40 and 50 I know is where 56.92 would be located. So now I'm going to change it back to menu 5 3 and change it back to counting by ones. And as I do that, 54, 54, 55, 55, 55, 56, 20, 60, 90, and it's only showing to 90, but there's 47, and then 48 goes above that. So you would be able to figure out that it was 47. Okay, so that's a calculator method for solving as well. Okay, let's look at number 2. Describe the slope of the line, then find the line. Okay, so what they're thinking of here is they're saying, look at this line. Is that going to be positive, negative, 0, or undefined? Well, hopefully you remember that vertical lines are undefined. So this would be an undefined slope just by looking at it. Now, the second part is to calculate it. Well, since it's undefined, there isn't a calculation, but remember, you want to count for slope, you want to do your rise over your run, or as I prefer to say, your change of y over your change in x. So how did x change? Oh, it didn't, right? It's the same number, but y changed. We went from 2 to 1, so we had a change of, we went down 3. And so when you divide negative 3 by 0, that is undefined. So in this case, both answers, the slope of the line is description, it's undefined. Find the slope, it's still undefined. Okay? All right, so let's look at number 3 so you can get a little bit better look. It's the same instructions. Describe the slope of the line. So I'm looking at this line, it's going down from left to right. So I would say this slope is negative. And then I would want to calculate it. So I went from negative 1 to 3 on the x, and I went from 2 to 1 on the y. So since it's change in y over change in x, we'll look at the y's first. I went from positive 2 to 1, so I went down 1, which is a negative move. Okay. Then I went to the right from negative 1 to 3, that's 4 places. So I went to the right 4, which is a positive 4. So negative 1 divided by positive 4 is simply negative 1/4. So both of these parts would be my answer there. All right, let's take a look at some more questions. Okay. Let f of x equal negative 2x plus 1 and g of x equals f of x minus 3. Use the graphs of f and g to describe the transformation from the graph of f to the graph of g. Okay, so it's hard to see, but this is g, this is f. So we were here and we went to this one. Okay, so how did it change? Well, here are our choices. We had a vertical translation 3 units up. We had a vertical translation 3 units down. Horizontal translation 3 units left, or a horizontal translation 3 units right. Okay? So I'm just going to take each one. 3 units up. If I start on the y-axis and I continue counting on the y-axis, that's 1, 2, 3. I didn't touch my line, so it's not up 3. If I start here on the y-axis and go down, 1, 2, 3, still didn't touch the other line. 3 units to the left. So here, at the y-intercept, 1, 2, 3, no line. So it's not left, right. 1, 2, 3, I hit the line, so that's the correct answer.